What's going on, everybody? It is your boy Chris, man. I am here at the Work Hard, Play Harder podcast. It is Saturday, October 18th, 2025. My name is Chris Drummond. I am a freelance sports reporter based out of upstate New York here and proprietor of this podcast, Work Hard, Play Harder, where I bring individuals on to talk about their why and get to know them outside of their occupation. I got a very special guest that's coming on with me today. She is a multimedia journalist that's based out of Orlando, Florida for Spectrum News. She's also spent some time in Charleston, West Virginia, doing the same role. She is an Illinois native, like myself, and we're going to talk to her about her why of getting into journalism. Without any further ado, I introduce to you Jordan Mead. Jordan, welcome to the podcast.
Chris, thank you so much for the intro. I'm really excited to talk to you this morning and simply just get to know you and talk about our love for journalism and kind of where it's taken us in our lives. So
Absolutely. And like I said, if anybody obviously knows you and knows what you do an incredible job as a representative of the industry as a multimedia journalist. So I thank you for being you and doing what you do for sure.
thank
And you're welcome, no question. And it bleeds into the first question, which is, what is your why? Why do you do what you do? Did you have any role models or any inspirations maybe growing up? But ultimately, what is your why for getting into the journalism industry?
well, it's a pretty clear answer for me. So when I was 15 years old, I
Mm.
really started to just discover, long story short, that I love to write, that it was a healing thing for me personally to journal. And I started to really pay attention more to what was happening in the world, what was happening around me, what was happening politically in the US and beyond. And I also started studying Spanish at that same time. So all these things in my life started to come together, and I really thought, I think a good career would be just journalism. I mean, I saw it all come together as, wow, I can learn about the world, I can learn about other communities, and I can express what's happening through writing. I can capture history, and it kind of just all came together. I didn't necessarily at the time think that I would do TV journalism. I thought I would do more strictly like print based. But
Okay.
my career has obviously evolved, and now I do television. I still write digital articles, but it's really evolved. But it's also a blessing just to see how it's changed in ways that I never thought it would.
Absolutely, no question. I would say my inspiration was Kobe Bryant. Growing up, I love sports, and I was born in Chicago, as I told you, but I was raised in California. My dad was in the Navy, so he relocated us to the West Coast. So I was a huge Lakers fan growing up, and Kobe Bryant was definitely somebody who I admired, I loved, and that's why I really fell in love with sports, as well as playing in high school as well. But I love that. I love the fact that you had that aspiration at a very early age and just carrying it with you. That's amazing.
You too. I
Talk
mean,
to
it takes passion for sure. So that's
a-
awesome.
absolutely, no question about that. And I wanna ask you this because you went to Illinois State University. I want to
Yes.
know, were there any other schools that could have persuaded you from going to Illinois State, or was you dead set on going to that school?
So I was not dead set on going to Illinois State. I went to Illinois State because it is pretty close to my hometown, and it was the most financially responsible decision that I could have made,
Mm,
because finances were very important to me. They still are,
sure.
obviously. And I did get into other colleges, both within Illinois and outside of Illinois, but I just truly felt that ISU was the best choice. And considering that during my freshman year of college was when the COVID pandemic started, it is very it was like looking back, it is a very good decision I made to go to school so close to home, to where I had my family so close by that I could depend on them, and they're loving. I literally am the most blessed daughter in the world with two wonderful parents. So like they really were there for me during college, during the pandemic, and presently in my life as well. So
Absolutely. Shout out to Mr. and Mrs. Mead. No
yeah,
question about that.
yeah,
They're amazing. They sound amazing. Obviously, you're amazing, so they have to be even more amazing as well. So I
they
love
are
that.
amazing. They are the greatest parents. I can't speak. Anything I am is because of them, truly. So.
Absolutely. Now, tell me about Eureka, because when you think about Illinois, you think about maybe Evanston, you maybe think about Champaign, you definitely think about Chicago. There's no question about that. Peoria is another city that comes to mind for Illinois. but you
Oh yeah.
definitely don't look on the map and say, well, let's go to Eureka.
No.
So tell me
Yeah.
about Eureka, Illinois, and the population and growing up there and how times was.
Yeah. So Eureka is it's a small town of about 5,000 people, and I grew up there, went to school there, and
Mhm.
so it's I'm very fortunate that I grew up there because though I wasn't exposed to maybe some other things in my life, there were things that Eureka lacked that I'm thankful I have in my life currently. But though though I lacked, I guess, maybe certain life experiences living there, I also gained a lot from growing up there. One, I felt safe. I had just a wonderful community. Everyone was very close knit, and I was very supported by my peers growing up there. And when I go back home to visit, I still have people who are lifelong friends who still live there and who I genuinely cherish. So, I mean, it really gave me a foundation to grow up in a small town. It helped me establish like my own faith. It helped me establish just appreciating just that community aspect. I think that can be forgotten sometimes if you don't know your neighbors, if you don't know, if you live in a bigger area, sometimes that can be lost. Not for everyone, of course.
Right.
But that was a huge thing for me growing up. Is just you just know everyone and everyone knows you, and that could be a negative thing, but for me it was always positive. It was like, oh, I can depend on this person, or I know where they live. I can, they can help me. I can help them. I have their back, and that was huge. But yeah, if you go to Eureka, I would say Eureka Lake is like beautiful. It's a beautiful park, and I grew up not too far from it. So like, if you are visiting Eureka, you decide to make the trip down from Chicago or away from Peoria, it's right there. It's beautiful. There's good cafes, local businesses, and just everyone there is really kind. But you were born in Chicago, so I know it's super different. But I
Hmm.
mean, it's just Illinois. It's just I don't know. I have a fond feeling for it. Obviously, it's my home originally. So for you, I know you didn't grow up there, but you're born there. So I mean, maybe you can relate a little bit.
Oh, absolutely. I still got family there. I try to go to Chicago at least one time every year, whether it's like I think 2 years ago was because of NABJ, which is the National Association of Black Journalists. They had the conference out there. This past year, I was going to go to the NAHJ, which is the same thing, but just the H is Hispanic journalists. They had their convention in Chicago, but I did not go that particular time. But I went earlier in the year. But I typically try to get to Chicago every year at least one time to either go to a conference and while I'm there, see some family in town. And definitely see some sports because it's a great sports town for
Oh
sure,
yeah,
no
oh yeah.
question. Now, how far is Eureka from Chicago?
It's about like 2.5 to 3 hours depending on traffic. So like from Eureka to downtown. So Eureka is, if you know Illinois, Eureka's in central Illinois. Obviously, Chicago's more north.
Yep.
And Eureka is right in the middle of like two cities that are not super big, but they're bigger. It's Peoria and then Bloomington
Yeah.
Normal. Bloomington Normal is where I went to college.
Got you. I love that. Okay, that's amazing. Now, I'm gonna ask you some favorite questions. Okay, Jordan, and you give me the 411 off the rip based upon these favorite questions. Okay, so
Okay.
here we go. Let's rock out. Favorite meal you like to cook?
No. I every day I cook like the same breakfast. It's like avocado and like eggs with like toast or a bagel. That's simple, but I love it. It's like my go-to breakfast at least.
I got you. So listen, no judgment here, but I've never had avocado. I've
Oh, it's
never
good.
had avocado before. Yeah.
It's good if you
I
make it
don't
right, which I do. I'm just kidding, but it's good.
got you. Got you. Okay. Well, eventually I will put that on the bucket list and
Yeah.
eventually try that because, I do like trying different things. So
Mm,
yeah, but I've never had avocado before. But yeah, I like that. Very simple breakfast.
yeah.
I'm a breakfast guy too. I like French toast, so I'm
Oh,
huge into that.
yeah. Do you make it, or do you prefer to like go out to eat?
Well, both. I can definitely make it, and I can go out to eat as well. But French toast, some nice eggs with some cheese on it,
Hmm.
and some hash browns. That's great for me.
That sounds
So I
good.
would love that. Favorite concert you've ever attended?
Um, well, this is like it's a music festival slash concert. Sueños Music Festival in Chicago is like, there's a bunch of like reggaeton artists, just different like Latin artists. That was super cool, and there was some like really, I don't know. I went in 2022 and I had a really good time. So There was El Alfa. You know who that is? He's a really hype, like really good artist. I don't know. I'm a big fan of his music. So he's a good performer too. So
Absolutely love reggaeton.
yeah.
Love those Hispanic artists. Bad Bunny comes to mind.
Oh man, yeah,
Bad Bunny is great.
yeah,
I love me Ozuna. If you know who
yeah.
Ozuna
Oh
is.
my gosh, yeah. He was
Hmm.
there. He was there when I
Okay.
went.
Okay. Okay. You got some good music taste, girl. Grant Park
Yeah.
is a place that holds a lot of music concerts. So I've definitely been there before.
That's where.
Lollapalooza, if you know about that.
Yeah, I've never. Have you been? I've never been to Lala. Have you been before?
Hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
I've never
Yeah.
been,
It's
but I
pretty.
mean, it looks fun.
Yes, if you ever get a chance to, go there at a time to visit,
Hmm.
please go to Grant Park, go there, go to Lollapalooza. It's amazing, no question about it. I went there once, so I scratched that off the bucket list. But yeah, I'm a huge concert goer, so
Yeah.
I love that kind of music, but I also love The Weeknd as well. The Weeknd is one of my
Yeah,
favorites.
they're good. I would say I don't listen as much, but whenever I do, I'm like, man, they're really talented. Like, and they just have a nice flow to their music. Yeah. That's,
Absolutely. Okay, I like that. That's pretty dope. Favorite place you've ever traveled to?
hmm, that's hard. I've been very blessed to travel a lot, but I'll just say like I'm gonna say Spain. I did a semester in Granada, Spain, and I genuinely I say it's my favorite because I really did have a life there. Like I was there for 4 months, so I had established routine, and it's a beautiful city. Like people always think of bigger cities in Spain, like Madrid or Barcelona, but really Granada is like it's a city, but if you want to go and you want to be immersed and you want to speak mainly Spanish, go there. Go for several weeks. Go for months if you can. It's beautiful. There's a lot to do. Walking, hiking. It's beautiful, and it's not too far from the coast either.
Okay, I'm definitely going to put that on the bucket list. I've never been to Spain,
Okay.
for sure. That's on my bucket list now. Because I love Spain, Italy. I had a chance to go to Greece,
Ooh,
last year.
that's cool.
Yeah, yeah, it was great. It was a cruise that one of my friends put up. She used to be in Howie Mandel's Deal or No Deal.
No.
Yeah, she was one of the ladies that was holding the briefcases in that
Yeah, that's
episode, and
great.
she actually invited me and invited some others out to go on a week long cruise trip through Greece.
That's cool.
So it was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. But yeah, I would say my favorite place though is Jamaica.
Oh, I've never
Um,
been.
Oh
That's
my
cool.
gosh, it was so beautiful out there. The jerk chicken, well, the food, the people, the vibe. Just the vibe is it's amazing. So I really love that. That was good. That was
I
fun.
bet it was beautiful. I've always seen beautiful photos from there. Just never went so far in my life yet.
Absolutely. Listen, well, you got plenty of time. Well, we got plenty of time to visit some places, girl. So we definitely gonna make it happen. That's for sure. Okay. Now, Jordan, I'm a sports person. Okay, so I'm gonna ask you a two-part sports question.
Okay.
Favorite sport you like to watch on TV? Favorite sport you like to attend in person? They can be the same sport.
So for me, they're gymnastics.
Wow, I like that. Did you play growing up or did you perform growing up?
I did gymnastics for 10 years. It was
Wow.
my everything growing up. I mean it was so foundational to who I am, the way I think, and just I still love fitness. I still love pushing myself to the limit. The way that you have to do as an athlete. I would still consider myself obviously not professional, but like I would still consider myself an athlete now. Like I mean, I still work out pretty routine. I run, I dance, but gymnastics is the foundation of all of that.
Oh, okay. Well, listen,
Yeah,
anybody that sees you on TV knows you stay fit. There's no question about that. You are definitely doing your thing. No
I
question on
try my
that.
best. So
No doubt, no doubt. Now, you said dance. What genre do you dance, or what's your favorite genre to dance to?
yeah, so I dance salsa, and I dance bachata. So I've been doing those on and off for
Ooh.
years. But since I moved to Orlando, I've been taking it more seriously, and I actually dance with a dance studio that has a presence in Kissimmee and Orlando area. It's called Salsa Heat, and I'm on a couple of their dance teams. So it's a challenge, but it's fun, and it really is like it's making me better all around, and it gives me like it gives me a similar passion to what I felt as a gymnast.
Okay, I'm gonna have to definitely hit you up when I get down there to Orlando because I want to try that out. I do. I am
It's,
terrible at dancing. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm terrible.
but
But
that's the thing.
it
They teach
sounds
you.
fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I remind me like sports for you. What did you do growing up? What did what was important to you?
Yeah, no question. I play basketball, play baseball, play football. Growing up, as a kid in high school, I played those three sports. I would say I tried to play golf, but the ball kept going off the course.
Too
Yeah,
much power, too much strength.
right. It was just I was hitting the ball and it was slicing all the way to the right. I was like, this is probably not my sport because I'm not very patient. I like to go. Golf is a very thinking kind of sport, but I also did growing up bowling. I also did um tennis as well. I used to play tennis with doubles. I really liked tennis and playing that, but the problem was that when I played singles, I had to do more running. I didn't like that. I didn't
Yeah.
like to run on the bat. Yeah, I didn't like to run on the court like that, so I gave up tennis. So my three main ones though is basketball, football, and baseball. Those are the three I mainly play.
No, that's awesome. And you like to cover those ones specifically as well because you know them pretty well.
Absolutely. Yes, you could throw hockey in there too, but I can't skate, so I don't play hockey, but I love to watch other people do it for sure. Um, I've covered gymnastics as well, in my time frame because I've been a journalist for about 8 years. High
Hmm.
school gymnastics is crazy. Like the beam and the vaulting, the platform or the mat as they call it.
Yeah.
Just being able to do those different type of stunts where you're flipping and turning and you just doing it's amazing. It really is. I got a chance to watch college gymnastics. I didn't cover it, but I watched it and it was even more intense.
It's crazy.
Like
Yeah.
it's very crazy. Like it really is.
Yeah. No, yeah. That's all I gotta say is like it. If you do the sport, you're like, wow. Like it's
Hmm.
even harder than you think it is. But I mean that's any sport though. And I think sports are so whether you do them for fun, whether you compete,
Hmm.
whether you just cover them, whether you do all the above, they're so
Hmm.
important. I think for our mental health to have outlets, things like that. It's awesome.
Absolutely. Before I get to this last favorite, I want to ask this bonus question, and that is, have you ever been, because since you're in Orlando, Florida, have you ever been to the beer spa?
The beer spot.
Hmm. The beer spa, the SPA, spa.
Oh no, no, I haven't. No, I haven't.
So there is last year when I was down there, I always try to look for different things to do because I travel by myself quite a bit, going different places.
Yeah.
The beer spot in Orlando caught my eye because I was like, okay, I love to have a cold beverage. I love to, drink some beer. That'd be great. That'd be amazing. Maybe watch some sports. At that time, it's basketball on and maybe football playoffs. So I don't mind watching that. But then they said they have a spa where you can like sit in a spa and you can just it's beer, but it's hot. And I'm
Isn't it?
like,
That's like
what's going on? And I'm like, this is something new. I've never seen it. And then I went there and I was like, wow. And you actually I met some cool people there. It was pretty awesome. But it's like you pay for your
that's cool.
but it's a lot of fun.
That is awesome. I was gonna say I've never I mean I'm newer ish to Orlando, but like I've never even heard of that place. But that sounds cool. Plus I like spas, so that sounds nice.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll definitely send you the 411 on that. And you
Okay, thank
you
you.
and you and your boyfriend should definitely try that out for sure. No
Yeah.
question. Now, this last favorite that I have is a foodie. I'm a huge foodie. I love food. So
Hmm.
I'm going to ask you, what is your favorite restaurant to go to eat out at?
Mm. That's a hard question. Like in Orlando area
It
or
could be
ever?
both. It could be Orlando or Illinois, hometown, or anywhere. Period.
That's a hard question. I'm so terrible. I'm really terrible about like picking one place. I also
Hmm.
cook a lot. Um, But I will say, okay, so when I lived in Charleston, I know like people when they think of food spots, they don't think of Charleston at all, which is okay. But
Hmm.
I lived there, I knew the community so well, and and there really was this really good place called it was called Short Story Pizza. Like they have brewing, they like beers, they like have their own. They have like really good like Detroit style pizza. I don't know. I went there a lot with friends. I went there with my boyfriend, and it just I have a lot of fun memories there. So that's probably why it's one of my favorite spots. But I don't know. I like pizza a lot. I like food, honestly. And I eat a lot, but it's good. You know, I really enjoy going out to eat too. I just cook a lot too.
Okay. Now pizza. What's your favorite topping?
I would say I really like margarita pizzas. So like tomato and basil. I really love.
Okay, okay. I'm a huge pepperoni. I'm a meat lovers type of
Yeah.
dude. So I love pepperoni, meat, chicken, all that on a pizza. Do you believe that pineapple should be on a pizza?
I've tried it and I like it, so I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I know it's so controversial for some reason, but I can think of things I wouldn't like on pizza that are a little more normalized than pineapple. But I think pineapple on pizza is good personally.
Okay,
I
I
don't know
like
about you.
that.
I don't know about you.
For me, I probably not. I'm not a huge pineapple on pizza person, but I am not opposed to other people eating it. I'm
Yeah,
not like, oh my gosh, pineapple shouldn't be on a pizza. No, I'm not like that at all.
that's good.
I'm just the type person where I'd rather have pineapple in a cup. Like I'm a pineapple juice person.
Oh yeah, that's much
Than
better.
on then yeah, than on a pizza. That's just for me, for
Yeah,
sure, for sure.
pineapple is
Okay.
pineapple's good though. Like just plain. Kind of.
Absolutely. No question. I'm with you on that, Jordan. I'm with you on that. That's what's up. All right. Now, I want to ask this next question because it has to do with your day-to-day operations.
Hmm.
As you know, as a journalist, no 2 days are ever the same. When I was working the everyday grind of working in stations or in publications, we write different stories, we cover different games. There's different results every single day. You're talking to different people, and sometimes it's a mystery to find a story because you're just trying to find something to do for that particular day, as you know and you understand. However, that also provides one of the main reasons why we love our job because it's not boring. It's
Hmm.
never a dull day. It's not, continuously the same thing over and over again. It's not redundant. That's the word I'm looking for.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, so I want to ask you, what is your day-to-day process of of being a multimedia journalist, right? What time do you normally work? How many stories do you normally have to come up with, story ideas you normally have to come up with per day? What's the process of you, um, being a multimedia journalist?
Yeah. Well, um, it's so different than what you learn in college. I will say that. You know,
Hmm.
once you're in the field, you're in the field and you learn quick. You have to. But I would say, like, in my job, they really like me to pitch about 2 to 3 stories a day. If I don't
Hmm.
have something prior, set up in advance. So I like to do research. Obviously, I keep a tab on like what's happening in my community because I have designated coverage areas that I specifically focus on. Um, we all do. That's just kind of how we operate at Spectrum News 13. And so I'll keep tabs and like, okay, well, I know this event is happening on October 20th, or and so on and so forth. So sometimes I can get things set up in advance. Other times, it's 8:30 in the morning. I have a 9:15 meeting, and I'm like, ooh, I don't know what's happening today. And it really does require you to be creative with your story pitches. Sometimes it's even taking something national and how does that affect people here locally, things like that. So
Right.
I feel like yeah, I have to present ideas every single morning if I don't have something already priorly set up in advance. And then once I get an approved story idea or story event, anything, I go out, I shoot the story a lot of times on my own. Just depends on the day. Since I am an MMJ, multimedia journalist, I do shoot a lot of my own stories,
Right.
my own
Right.
interviews. Occasionally, I will edit my own packages. It just depends if I'm working alone or with a photographer. And then we put everything together. And if I'm working with a photographer, we go live and we present it live normally, which I'm very thankful that I work with photographers when I go live. It's a big safety thing, and that's very important for journalists. And
Mhm.
yeah, so that's usually how my days will go. Some days are hit or miss. Obviously, if interviews get canceled or if something falls apart, it is hard.
Yep.
And I'm sure you can relate to this when you're a journalist. a lot of people are hard on themselves because they want to do a good job. They want to make sure that people are educated, know what's happening in their community. So when stories fall apart, it is really easy
Absolutely.
to be tough on yourself. I feel that way a lot, and it's just, but sometimes you have to know, like, it's not all gonna end. The world's not gonna end today if the story doesn't work out. Sometimes you have days where it doesn't, and I think that's hard for younger journalists like myself. I would say I'm a younger journalist to always accept, but it's important.
I love that you said that. And I want to stop right there before I get to the next question. I love that you said that because we are particularly hard on ourselves. We want to do a great job. We want to inform our public, our audience of what's going on in our surrounding communities because it's very important to us. That's why we do what we do. But to also have that wherewithal and understand that every day it's not going to be the grass is green. It's
Yeah.
just not. Every story is not going to be a home run. I always equate it to sports, right? When you step up to the plate, you're always not going to hit a home run over the wall.
Hmm.
But it's okay if you get on base. You draw a walk, you hit a single. If you get a story out there that's informative, that's okay. May not
Yes.
be the best story or Pulitzer Prize type of story, but nonetheless, it's a story that's worth hearing, right?
Yeah.
And then there's sometimes where you strike out. And sometimes when you do strike out, you have to go back to the dugout, and then you got to come back up again. Well, you may not have a story that, or stories fall apart, is what I say. When like you talked about, interviews may fall apart, and you have to kind of pivot last minute, which I've done that before. You've done that before. I'm sure every journalist in the world understands
Yeah.
that, for
Yeah.
sure. Another thing that you said that I wanted to point out before I get to the next question was about safety. A lot of people don't understand that aspect because they're watching you on the final product, right? They see this very beautiful lady like yourself or the handsome man that's anchored that's on the TV, and they're like, wow, they must have it made. Wow, they're on TV and they're talking, and that looks like a cool job. And it is an incredible job, no question about it. But a lot of times, Jordan, people don't see the behind the scenes of what you do to prepare yourself to get ready for that job.
Yeah.
They don't see what you do behind the scenes to get on air and all the time and effort that you put on because it's not just you grabbing the microphone and the camera. You just talked about it. You talked about being an MMJ. MMJ, for those of you that will eventually see this, it's a one-man band.
Hmm.
You do everything for the most part, especially in smaller markets. You
Yes.
write, you edit, you shoot, you do everything. And carrying equipment around is heavy and it is hard to do, especially if you're a person that is not, is kind of frail to say the least. And you're not, as wide as me, because I'm a wide kind of person. You know what I mean? So at the same time, that's difficult to do.
Hmm.
And a lot of journalists have to do it because that's the job that it entails. But it's not easy to do, and people don't know that unless they ask you about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's fair. Uh, I would have never known what TV working in local news is like until I got into it. You and it. I do respect local journalists way more than I ever would
Mm,
have had I not
right.
gotten into the industry. I'm sure every job is like that. If you work in healthcare, you will respect people in healthcare if you see
Hmm.
it every day, and that's a good thing about human nature is that you should respect other people, obviously, but especially when you see what they go through. That's
Hmm.
every career, but yeah, it definitely applies to journalism, big time. I'm glad you touched on that because it's the truth. It can be really hard, but it's if it's what you love, it's rewarding. You know.
Absolutely, absolutely. A different appreciation that we have, right? Once you step into those shoes, you definitely have a different appreciation, which it bleeds into the next question, a great segue, which is I want to ask you about mental health and work-life balance.
Hmm.
Now, I've known some journalists that have stepped away because their mental health was affected because of this industry.
Yeah.
I've known some journalists step away because their work-life balance, they just could not find it. And me, my personal opinion, Jordan, I don't think you ever find it in this industry. I think everybody's work-life balance looks a little bit different based upon their own individual situation,
Yeah.
right? Because everybody's life is different. But I want to know with you working as a journalist, we don't work the normal hours of 8 to 4, 9 to 5. We work long extended hours on some days. Sometimes we get called back into the office for breaking news, which I'm sure you've had that happen to you before. Talk to me about how you keep your mental health strong, but also still have that work-life balance, right? You don't have family near you. You don't have your boyfriend near you as well. As you said, he's visiting, so he's not near you. but you have friends, and you have more of a life outside of just being a journalist. I mean, obviously, I certainly wouldn't mind hanging out with you because you seem amazing to hang out with.
Me too.
But
Me too.
thank you so much. But how do you keep your mental strong and not experience things like burnout?
Hmm. That's a good question. And I'm a very flawed person to answer that question, to be honest. I mean, I think everyone is, but I definitely don't have it down. I would say that for me, a big, when you are a journalist, like for me, I do it because I love it. I don't love every day, but I love journalism, and I'm very, very thankful that there's nothing else I'd want to do professionally
Right,
but be a journalist,
right,
truly. Even on days where I'm mad, or even on weeks and months where you have burnout periods or periods where you're like, man, I'm striking out every day. You know, it really is nothing else I'd want to do. But
right,
to balance it, I'm very fortunate that at this current job I'm in, they are very good about work-life balance. They really do try to make sure that when we're off, we're off. I mean, we have some on-call weekends. Of course, big breaking news, it's all hands on deck. But really, for the most part, they're pretty. They really do try to help us have good outside of work lifestyles and routines. But one thing I really do is, again, I said I work out a lot. I grew up as a gymnast, and it just really instilled in me this negative traits, but also good traits. And some of the traits I did gain that were good, I just love working out, and I think it's a very healthy way to manage stress.
yep,
I just feel good about yourself physically and also mentally. So, like I said, like I work out quite a bit. I run. I'm not a professional runner or anything like that, but I am training for a race. So that's been taking up a lot of my time recently. I dance a lot too, and I think those are all good things to help me manage life outside of work. I do feel tired a lot, but at the same time, I feel like I'm very rewarded by doing things that I love outside of work. So, like, what if you like working out or not? That's not the point. The point is doing things that make you feel good physically, that make
yep,
you feel happy. I think that is so important to not just go to work every day, come home, go to work, come home, because that cycle is really hard on our souls. You have to do things,
right.
whether it's reading, being involved in church, working out, anything like that is so important. And another thing I do, just really to for my mental health, is I love spending time just in prayer, and I love journaling. Those are really big things for me that are truly have helped me, my mental health, helped me maybe I don't know, get out my frustrations as well, but also just have really grounded me and grounded my beliefs and my values.
Absolutely, and that's a terrific answer, Jordan. You gave great answers all conversation long, and no question about that. You're very welcome. But I'm very happy. I'm very happy that you said that because it's an important question to ask. Like people need to know that you do go through periods in this industry where you do have some mental health kind of breakdowns.
Hmm.
And people go through different things. For me, it was not being around family. When I moved to Minnesota, which was one of my spots that I moved to do my journalism career, I didn't have any family out there. And I'm a huge family guy. I'm very close to my dad. I'm very close to my mom. Huge mama's boy,
That's
dad's
awesome.
boy. However you wanna look at it, right? So I love that. But I didn't have any, and that one was hitting me a little hard because you're going to a new city, a new town, and you don't know anybody, and you're trying to blend in, and you're going into a town that mainly has older people than you, and it's like, oh boy, like what is going to become of this, right? So it's definitely affecting my mental health, and I'm sure you've went through things as well. I love the journaling part because journaling is something that I used to do as well because
Hmm.
it was a way for me to express myself through words, being able to, let out anger, let out frustration, but also be deep in thought.
Hmm.
Because I think sometimes, when things happen, the best thing for us to be is deep in thought and let's just think about it. Because my mindset is if you give me time to think about it, I'm always going to try to come up with a solution. And to every problem, there's a solution, whether it's long term or short term. Every problem has a solution. There is no problem that we'll ever have that we won't be able to figure out something positive that can come out of it to where we can come to a solution.
Yes.
But journaling helped me be able to get my thoughts out and be able to help me think about different ways that I can express myself,
That's
right? And maybe you feel the same way.
mm-hmm. I do. I do. I mean, it's yeah. You. I mean, I always say I'm gonna burn my journals, but I'm just kidding. But I mean, I write them down because I write down my thoughts and my feelings. It's so healthy for me. I do it also to like remember like where was I at in this stage of my life. Um,
Hmm.
I went like didn't dive into anything, but I went through a really hard time in college, and I journaled a lot during college. And I look back sometimes and I'm like, wow, I can't believe I used to feel this way
Right.
about certain things I was going through, and
Hmm.
I'm so thankful I'm not in in those situations anymore. But I'm also like, man, it is really wonderful to know how far I've come, not just like
Hmm.
happiness wise, but just growth as a person. I think journal. I don't know if you can relate, but I do look back at my old journal entries. I know people say don't do that sometimes, but I do, and sometimes it shows growth, which is good. I don't know if you can relate to that or not.
Absolutely. Definitely maturity for me.
Hmm.
Because now, I'm in my 30s.
Hmm.
So, being in my early 20s, or even late 20s, just a few years ago, um, yeah, maturity is definitely something that I needed to do
Yeah.
in my life, and I need to make some changes. Not just maturity with relationships, but maturity with eating. Eating healthy, being healthy, staying diligent with my diet, being able to work out more, being able to do more things, being able to just being more mature. But I think life experience has done that to me as well,
Hmm.
because the more you go through life and the more you experience, the more you learn, the more you grow. I don't think
Yes.
that there's no manual to this. Like, there's no step one, step two, step three to this thing called life. Like, we just live it and we try to make the best decisions that we possibly can. And
Yeah.
some of them are not going to be great decisions.
Yeah.
But you only know that by going through the motions.
Yeah.
So, and I love that. I love that. But again, I hate to say it, but it's a great segue to this next question, which is advice, right? What advice would you give someone? Because I'm sure you probably have interns. I'm sure you probably have seen interns or recent college graduates that come through that spectrum there at the news, or maybe even stop you on the street. They recognize you on the TV. What kind of advice would you give those individuals that want to pursue a career in broadcast journalism?
It's a very good question. Um, I would say do it for the right reasons. If you're going to be a journalist, print, radio, TV, whatever, you need to be doing it for the right reasons. Um,
Hmm.
Otherwise, you're going to be unhappy and you're going to be burned out, and it will show in your work. Um, if you don't love journalism, I think it's important to recognize that. It's a hard industry to work in, but if you love it, that really will keep you going. Because
Well,
I think we can all relate to having times, like seasons of life, where we're like, what am I doing? Like sometimes.
mhm,
But if you love it, it will keep you grounded. You're like, wait, no, I love telling these stories. I love
mhm,
interviewing these people. I love meeting these people.
right,
Why would I want to do anything
right,
different? And I think that's so important. And like there are, I know you are aware of this. A lot of journalists are aware of this. Like there are people who leave the industry because they're burned out or they don't like it, and I don't blame them if they feel it's not right for them. It's not right for you, and that's only something that you can decide for yourself. But if
right.
you in it, if you really love it, hold on to that passion, hold on to that love, because you will be tried in journalism. But it's like your love will be tried for it. But at the same time, if you do love it and you remind yourself of that, you seek those stories that really help people or make a difference in your community, whatever it might be, you will be reminded of that love too.
I love that. I do. And listen again. These questions are not to discourage anybody from this profession.
Yeah.
We absolutely love being journalists. I feel like it's a calling. I know Jordan, you feel like it's a calling too.
Yes, I
But
do.
at the same time, you have to know the A side and the B side. The A side is what we're talking about as being a calling, right? Being the pillars in our community, doing different kind of stories, interviewing wonderful people, and just doing stuff that we love to do because this is what we love, grew up loving to watch and see, and now we're doing it as a profession, which is great. But you have to know the B side as well. And the B side is what you just mentioned. You have to get into it for the right reasons. You have to make sure that, hey, you're going to miss holidays. You're going to miss celebrations. You might have to work weekends. News and sports are all the time, especially sports, because sports is evenings
Oh yeah.
and weekends.
Oh yeah.
So you're going to be, and when you see college football come on today, which normally comes on Saturdays, there's people at the game covering those games. They're working.
12 hours.
So that's
Yeah. Yeah.
hello. I'm saying. So you got to know if you're willing to make that sacrifice. It's a great sacrifice to make, but you got to get into it for the right reasons, and you got to know both sides. And what better way to know than talking to two people that's been into the industry or listening to others that's been in the industry doing it. So
Yes.
I love that. That's
Yeah.
amazing. I wanna now transition
Okay.
now because I want to be able to play my interactive game with you called This or That. And what it is an interactive game that I like to play with all my guests here on the Work Hard, Play Harder podcast. It's
Yes.
very simple. I'm going to throw some things at you and you get to choose this or that. So Jordan, are you ready?
Hmm.
All right, here we go. Out of these two restaurants, which restaurant would you rather eat at? Texas Roadhouse or Longhorn Steakhouse?
Texas Roadhouse.
You like the cinnamon buns, don't you?
Oh yeah, yeah. So I actually don't eat meat, so but I go there for the bread, so it's pretty good.
So, oh wow, so you're a vegetarian.
Yeah, I am. So yeah.
Okay, okay. I'm with you on that. I like that. Okay.
But I love the bread rolls, so I'll go there
Mm-hmm.
any day. So
Absolutely. Absolutely, girl. I love that. Okay, so when it comes to pasta, okay, when it comes to pasta, which pasta place would you rather eat at? Would you rather go to Olive Garden or would you rather go to um I would say a Maggiano's? Have you ever been to a Maggiano's?
I think so, but I'm gonna say Olive Garden. Olive Garden's good.
Olive Garden's good.
Yeah, their salads
Okay.
are good. Their pasta's good. Everything. The bread,
Okay.
like I said, I
Mm.
eat a lot of bread, so
Okay. No, you listen. You the kind of friend I like because I'm gonna be like, listen, get more bread, please. Can
no,
we
for
have more
real.
bread?
I mean, get
That's
your money's worth. So yeah.
I love that. That's awesome. I love that. Okay. These next 5 questions have
Okay.
to do with music concerts that you rather attend. Okay, so
Okay.
here we go. Which music concert would you rather go see? Beyonce or Rihanna?
Ooh, that's a hard one. Maybe Rihanna, but they're yeah, probably Rihanna, but they're both so good. But Rihanna, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I say Rihanna.
Okay, okay. That was a tough one, but they're only gonna get tougher, Jordan. So here we
Fine.
go.
I'll survive, I think.
Here we go. Which music concert would you rather go see? Would you rather go see Romeo Santos
Ooh.
or would you rather go see Bad Bunny?
Well, I love them both. I've seen Romeo Santos before in concert, so I'm gonna have to say Bad Bunny. I love Bad Bunny though. He's awesome. So
If you ever get a chance to see him live,
if I
he's amazing.
ever get a
No
chance,
question.
I will be ecstatic. But yeah,
Okay, okay, that's what's up. I like that. Here we
yeah.
go. Which music concert would you rather go see in person? Would you rather see Kendrick Lamar or Drake?
That's a hard one. Throwback to the last year's Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I would say Kendrick Lamar. Yeah.
He listen, these are tough. These are very
These are
tough
tough.
ones.
I'm actually really having to think now, but
Mm-hmm. I feel it. Now here we go. Now I got a chance to see Kendrick at the Super Bowl last year. I was in New Orleans for that.
Ooh, that's sick. That's sick.
Yeah, that was crazy. It was dope. It was real dope seeing him. Here we go. Here's the fourth one. Which music concert would you rather go see? Would you rather go see? I would say mm, Taylor Swift or Ariana Grande.
Ariana Grande.
Oh wow, you said that fast. Are you not a Swiftie?
Um, I'm not, but I have a lot of respect for her. I'm just not a Swiftie, But I have seen Taylor Swift before when I was younger. I was 8 years old. She was actually like one of the first. She was opening for Rascal Flatts, and I saw her when she was
Wow.
like very early on. So I not as much now, but I used to listen to her music a ton when I was like a little girl. But yeah, not as much now, but I
Okay.
have a lot of respect for her.
Okay. I would like that. I like that. Okay. Last of the music concerts. Which music concert would you rather go see? Would you rather go see Chris Brown or Usher?
Mm, I'm gonna say Chris Brown, but wow, they're both good though. That's hard too.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I love them both. Did you hear that new remix? They did a remix together.
No, I didn't.
It's called so Chris Brown has a song called "It Depends."
It depends.
It's one of his newest songs. So Usher hopped on his remix and
Oh,
did the "It
okay.
Depends" remix. So you definitely got to check that out. It's pretty good.
Yeah, I will. Thank you. I was sorry. I'm not as up to date with Chris Brown as I should be, but I need to. I used to
You
listen
are
more, but yeah.
you are good. No worries. That's why you got
I'm
me.
a Bad Bunny
I,
fan, you know. So
no doubt, no doubt. And listen, I'll be looking out for seeing. Hopefully, there's some Bad Bunny concerts coming to Orlando. You know he's doing the Super Bowl next year, right?
oh yeah, I'm so excited. So yeah,
Yes, me too. I will be there in San Francisco, and I'll be covering the Super Bowl there again for the
nice.
second consecutive year. So I cannot wait to see him in person for sure.
That's sick.
Let me ask you this: do you like desserts?
I do. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna name four categories of desserts. You have to choose one of these categories to get rid of. Okay, so
Okay.
here we go. The first category is ice cream. The next category is cake slash pies, so they're grouped together. The third category is candy. The last category is cookies. Which one are you getting rid of?
Candy.
Girl, you on point like a period. That's what I would
Yeah,
say.
I know exactly what I want.
I like that. I like a woman that knows what she wants. Now, here's the thing though. What is your favorite ice cream?
I really like Oreo or like chocolatey ice creams. Oreo or like cookies. Like cookie dough with it.
Really?
Mhm. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. The reason why I said really is because my favorite ice cream is cookies and cream.
Really? Oh my gosh, we're twins.
It
That's cool.
is.
That's cool.
It really is. It really
So
is. I used to. My mother always used to buy the big old tubs of the cookies and cream or the Briars. If you know the blue Briars,
yeah.
she used to
Oh
always buy that. So
yeah.
yeah,
Nice.
that was my favorite. That's my favorite for sure. Okay, we are off to a damn good start. I love it.
Yeah.
Now, do you like potato chips?
Yes.
Okay, same format. I'm gonna name four brands. You have to choose one of these brands to get rid of. So here we go. First brand is Pringles. The next brand is Ruffles. The next brand is Lay's. The last brand is Doritos. Which one are you getting rid of?
Doritos.
Wow. Okay. I'm a little shocked by that, but that's okay.
Controversial.
Now,
Sorry. No.
no, you're good. You're good. Now,
Yeah.
you don't have to name these other three.
Yeah.
But if I ask you, Jordan, what is your favorite potato chip to eat? You would say,
I would say like kettle cooked chips are my favorite. Like Lay's kettle cooked, for example. Have you tried those? Like the really crunchy ones?
mm-mm,
You don't like those?
uh-uh, uh-uh,
I do.
mm-mm. You know what? It's okay. Listen.
Yeah. I feel
Listen,
like
you are very talented. You are very talented. You are very beautiful. You're
thank
very passionate about journalism. But you
yeah.
just proven you're not perfect. That's
Oh,
all.
I know I'm
That's
not perfect. Don't worry.
that is totally fine. That's totally
Yeah.
fine. Now listen, mind you, they're not the worst chip ever. They're the third worst chip. Third.
Okay.
Now There's two in front of them. There's two in front of them. Now you're probably saying, what's the two? Salt and vinegar. Any salt and vinegar chip is just horrible. That ain't gonna do it. See, that ain't it. Now the worst chip ever though is Funyuns. Whoever
Okay.
made Funyuns, God bless their hearts, but they need to be slapped with the black and the white side of my hand because they are just awful. They're terrible. If I could smack them all off the shelf and step on the bags, I would if I wouldn't go to jail. I
Yeah.
really would. They're that bad.
You might go to jail. You might become the news, at that point. I'm just kidding.
Uh,
But
hello, hello. Do you like Funyuns?
Not really. No, they're not my
So
thing.
you're in agreement. I
Yeah,
fed you on that.
I'm in
Okay.
agreement. I'm in agreement. Yeah. Say, I'm not a big like onion rings person. I'm not a big Funyuns person. I like cooked onions, or like onions
Oh,
and
okay.
salads, but not like fried, deep fried. Not the biggest fan.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Totally with you on that. Now, back to sports for the last two of this or that. Which sport would you rather watch on TV? Basketball or football?
Basketball.
Okay. And lastly, which sport would you rather play? Badminton or bowling?
Badminton or bowling. I'd rather play bowling. I'd rather do bowling.
Are you a good bowler?
Not really. I mean, you know, I can pretend. I can try my best. I can fake it, but probably not that good. So yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Now, do you need the bumpers?
I don't need them. No, I said the
Okay.
tree stay standing even without the bumpers. I don't. I just
Okay. Okay. That's all I need to know.
yeah,
Because, I tell people all the time, if you need the bumpers, that's totally fine. We just put you on a separate lane, get
yeah.
you to slide, and then you just go ahead and slide the ball down and you do your thing. But you can't
Exactly.
be on the same lane as me. I just can't have it. I feel you on that. That's awesome. That's awesome. And you did very good on
Oh,
this or that. You did very good. You're very welcome. Um, I want to ask this next question. It's called bucket list. Okay. And the reason why I want to ask this question is because I want to know, give me your top four bucket list of stories or events that you would like to do in your journalism career that you haven't done yet.
hmm. That's a good question. I really would love to do correspondence work. So, I would love to be able to do stories, not just one necessarily, where I'm traveling um, elsewhere. I've always had a dream of doing some reporting in Latin America. It's a big reason I studied Spanish. Um, so I would love that
Okay.
opportunity one day, whether I'm covering politics or climate impact. Um, it could be anything. That's a big. I guess it's not really one story, but that's a bucket list thing for journalism. Um,
Okay.
I want to cover more stories relating to real human struggles, and I think um, I've had some really good people in my life give me a passion and a better understanding of people who are facing extreme situations, I guess. So I really want to do more stories relating to, I think, homelessness, addiction,
Mm.
poverty. Those are big, serious life struggles that many people, including people I know, have gone through or are going through. And I have, that's a big bucket list thing for me to cover, is to do more work there because I think those are human stories that bring a lot of, I guess, just human connection, and I think that they're important. I think they can help people too. I mean, at the end of the day,
Absolutely.
I would love to see people helped out of bad situations. So that's a bucket list thing. I feel like I don't know. The other two things I like to cover, I love to do a gymnastics story. I really haven't done that many gymnastics stories, so any kind of story about gymnastics would be really sick.
Yep.
Um, and like lastly, I would love to. I don't know. That's a hard question. I've covered like governor's races, but I would love to cover a presidential election.
I can totally see you doing that. And what excites me very much is the gymnastics story. Come on. We need more sports people. We need more sports people. Come on. I'm
Yeah,
with you. I'm with you on
yeah,
that. And listen, there's nothing like covering a gymnastics meet. I mean, I've covered all the sports pretty much. And gymnastics, people are cheering, people are shouting. It just is really cool to see uh those ladies do amazing things on the mat. Like just to be able to walk on that beam, be able to do the pole, the vaulting, and then do the mat stuff too. It really is amazing. So I have a lot of respect. I gained a lot of respect covering high school gymnastics and watching college gymnastics over the past few years because I had to do that for my paper that I was working for. So yeah, I would love to see you do that because I know you're very passionate about it.
thank you.
You are very welcome. Now, we talked about oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, I was gonna ask you what about you? But if you have another
Oh, yeah,
question,
go ahead.
no, I
No,
was,
you good. You good. You
I was gonna
good.
just yeah. What do you hope to cover? bucket list wise?
Yeah, yeah, that's a great question. Well, Super Bowl is crossed off. So
Ooh.
now what I want to do is I want to do an NBA Finals because basketball is my favorite sport. So I want to do NBA Finals for sure.
Hmm.
I would love to do March Madness or college football playoff or both of those. I think I'm going to be able to cross off March Madness this next upcoming year because it is coming to Buffalo for the first and second rounds. So I would love to do that. I also would love to do the Olympics.
Ooh.
Cannot wait for the Olympics to come to Los Angeles. That would be amazing to do.
Hmm.
And also, this is to kind of stretch out my sports repertoire because, I mentioned basketball, football, and the Olympics, but I would love to do a World Cup. I think the World Cup would be amazing. I think there'd be some great stories there. Plus, it's a sport that I'm not as knowledgeable about as my other sports that I have. So, and the World Cup's coming here to the United States. So
Right.
why not be able to cover that? So those are some of the bucket list things that I definitely have for my career that I would love to do.
That's awesome. No, that, and they're all achievable too. That's awesome.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that, dear. I really do. We talked about advice you would give someone, but I want to know what is some advice that someone will give you that you hold on dearly to?
Hmm. I mean, there's a lot, man. um, I I do think about this advice a lot. So, one of my former bosses at my last station,
Hmm.
when I was interviewing for the job, he took me on a driving tour as part of my interview process. And one thing he said to me was, you can move here for 2 years, Jordan, and you can go to work every day and go home, and your 2 years will be really slow, your time will not be fun, or you can get involved, and your 2 years will fly by. And he told me that. And it was one of the best things I think a boss could tell a young reporter. And I say that especially because we talked about mental health and we talked about work life balance, because it's true. You need to build a life for yourself as a journalist. One,
Right.
you will be happier if you find things that you love to do outside of work, having nothing to do with work. You just have to.
Right.
It's, even if finances are a hard thing, because I know that's a hard thing for a lot of people, you have to work a lot, extra jobs sometimes, even being a journalist. Reading, doing something that you love is important. I mean, it doesn't have to be an expensive thing. I think that's really good advice for all walks of life. Making sure that you find things that you love to do outside of work. It will also help you become a better reporter because you will build relationships with people outside of work. You will be a person. You will be a friend to them, not just someone they see on TV. You'll be a friend, and I think that's important. I don't know. I've been given a lot of really good advice, but that's the first thing that comes to mind because my former boss was very. That was a very foundational thing that he told me.
No, that's great. And he's absolutely right.
Hmm.
No question about that. 2 years could be 2 years. People know when you get these type of journalism jobs,
Hmm.
sometimes, situations do change and people do stay, but for the most part, people jump markets,
Yeah.
right? They jump markets to different markets and they move on. But you make the time of what you make it. So
Yeah.
it could be a time frame where, oh man, it could be a dreadful 2 years, or it could be a fascinating 2 years. I've had guests on here that have told me that it was a dreadful 2 years because they wanted to get out of their contract, which is
Yeah.
another thing too for
Yeah.
people that need to understand. Once you sign a 2 or 3 year contract, it is very hard to get out of that contract unless you are in a buyout type of situation, and the
Yes.
buyout situation might not be a favorable situation. So make sure you do your research before you commit to any station, or I should say station, because I was in a publication, so I didn't have a contract. I was able to leave as I went for the
That's
multiple publications that I went to. But um, the stations definitely have 2 year or 3 year contracts, and you got to do your research on them
you
and the
do.
people that you're working with before you commit to it. So I love that advice that he gave you. That's amazing.
It is, and it was such good advice that I literally I worked in Charleston. My heart aches sometimes. I think about how much I miss it. I like that might sound silly to people. Like, what do you mean? Like, you're not from West Virginia? I didn't have any family there. I knew nobody there when I moved there. I
Right.
loved my life there so much. I am still in touch with good friends and people who I met there. Some of them still live there, some of them don't. Like, you, I know not everyone has that same experience. Sometimes you just end up unlucky, and that's no one's fault. It's not your fault if you're
Right.
unhappy in your job, unhappy in your
Right.
market, unhappy in your new city. But try to put yourself out there even when it's so hard, because it is really good for your happiness, and your happiness
Absolutely.
really does matter. You have to care about that in your life, even when it just seems like um, even when life is falling apart or when things are not going well. You do, you know.
Absolutely. Well said on that one. I'm gonna get you out of here on this last
Yep.
question, and that is, I want to make sure I want to ask you this about hard news stories, because hard news stories happen all the time. It's great to have those cookie cutter stories that make you smile, make you laugh. I love those kind of stories, as you do as well. But hard news stories happen as well. I want to know, do you take home with you those hard news stories, or do you try to leave those at the station? If you do take them home, how do you deal with them? Because I think people that want to get into this business as a news reporter should understand or know how to deal with hard news stories.
Yeah. Um, Sometimes I take home harder news stories. Not very often, I feel like. But sometimes there are a few stories I've done that have, you know, affected me emotionally. That I think about. A lot of them that are coming to mind are actually from my previous job, not really so much here yet. And
Hmm.
I've journaled about them. I mean, like, again, that's my that's a very big, like, therapeutic thing that I do for myself, is I journal about everything happening in my life, all my thoughts. And
Right.
I think that's a very healthy thing to do. Um, and I think it's just a real part about being a news reporter, being a sports reporter, anything is, you will have harder stories. You will have some that are heartbreaking, and I think it's just important to remember, like, you know, have compassion for the people that you interview. Have compassion for people, because this is someone's life. It might be hard to cover, but it is someone's life. So never take for granted, like, the opportunity to cover a story, but also do it with respect too. It's important.
Yeah, that's why I commend you, wonderful people like you, and all news reporters. It's a job where I couldn't do. I have to be honest with you. I really couldn't do it. I pick sports because I do love sports with a passion. Don't get me wrong, but and there are hard news stories in sports too. But at the same time, it's for me, it would be difficult to stick a microphone in somebody's face and ask them questions because everybody grieves differently.
That is true.
And you never know when it's the right time or an appropriate time to grieve. You just never know, or you never know when it's the right time to ask the question too. But you know you have a job to do as well.
Absolutely.
So I do commend you on that, and it's a question worth asking for sure.
Definitely.
This has been a dope conversation with you, Jordan, of just really getting to know you and getting to know your why and getting to know your story and getting to know you just as a person, as an individual. Like I said, I can't say enough great accolades about you. I think you're amazing, talented, beautiful, smart, all the above. And you're going to continue to do great work there, obviously, at Spectrum News in Orlando and in your future endeavors and where you go. I'm a new fan of yours. I really do appreciate you coming on to my podcast.
Me too.
And my final question to you is there anything else you would like to add about yourself, the job, the industry, or anything at all before we conclude?
Um, Sorry. I really
You
think
good?
that I don't know. I mean, you asked very good questions. You got to know me, like, fun, silly things about me, but also you asked deep and important questions. So I really appreciate that, um, and I appreciate you having me on here. Honestly, I'm honored. I'm like, oh, I like, thank you, like, for watching my work and for getting to know more about me as a person. Um, I really just, I don't know. I I'm very big on, I just want to get to know people. I want to build relationships and connections. That's a big part of why I became a journalist. And that's why I appreciate the opportunity to connect with you and your flexibility with my schedule. So thank you. I can't think of anything more that I want to say unless you have any more questions, but I'm very happy you touched on mental health. I'm very happy you touched on just fun things in my life, balancing job, everything. So thank you.
No, it's an important aspect to touch them all. I appreciate your transparency. I really do. I want you to enjoy your Saturday. I want you to enjoy training for that marathon, and please let me know how that goes whenever that does happen, because I
Thank you.
definitely would love to know the results of that.
Yeah.
And I want to also tell you again, thank you for coming on, and enjoy the rest of your weekend.
I will, and thank you. I'm so sorry my cat keeps jumping up, but this is my cat for anyone that wants to see. His name is Milagro. He's a good boy. Put him down. Sorry.
Mm.
but
No, I love it. I love it. I'm a huge animal lover, so I love that.
he's
So I just want you to continue doing great work, and you and I would definitely be in touch and stay in
yeah,
touch. And I will let you know when I do come to Orlando, because we definitely got to do something together for sure.
I would love to grab a meal with you and just hear more about your story. And again, it is very rare that you find people who say, I really want to hear about what are journalists' experiences like, what are their stories like. So I really appreciate that that is something that you felt passionate about, that you've wanted to go beyond the person standing with the microphone or with the camera or writing the scripts, that you really want to know who are they as a human being. We're in a time
Absolutely.
we're in a time where um, a lot of people, I don't know, like a lot of journalists are discouraged, and I think it's important to genuinely like say it. We're all human beings. None of us are perfect, but we're just sharing our own experiences, and I appreciate you allowing me to do that today.
Absolutely. Support local journalists, y'all. Please do.
Yes,
Have a wonderful, wonderful Saturday again and weekend, and you and I will most certainly be in touch.
sounds good. Have a wonderful day and take care. Bye.